What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I am in my Hyundai today because both of my cars, well, I still got the 96 Impala, but that's put up, right? So we're not driving that. But both of my other cars, the Porsche's in the shop in order to get fixed from the accident that you guys seen. And then the Benz is in the shop getting the routine maintenance. So I go back and pick that up in a few days, right? Because I need to get some sensors fixed and then some stuff, just some normal wear and tear, and then you got the oil changes and stuff like that. But both of my cars are in the shop, and so we in a Hyundai, and I've been driving this Hyundai a lot more, and I actually really like this car. But that's not what I want to talk to you guys about. I want to talk to you guys about relationships, divorce, as it relates to a lot of different people starting to get divorced that we see that are visible across the internet, right? Three different examples, and I'm gonna give you three different things that I see as it relates to those relationships in particular. So let's first start off with Jeezy and Jennie Mai. Now, first and foremost, it seems like it was a weird situation in the first place because we all know Jeezy, as Mr. 17.5, or at least that's what I know Jeezy as, is Mr. 17.5. You know what I'm saying? He the dude that always was moving the bricks and, hanging with Big Meech. I know Big Meech, even though that's a Rick Ross song, that's Jeezy. Like, Jeezy was the dude that was really in the trenches, and, he sustained long enough, and Jeezy is like, Detroit is like a second home for Jeezy, and so, every time he come here, the concert is sold out, and so to see him get married, specifically to an Asian woman, was kind of eye-opening, but it was all in the guise of, yo, let me show you how mature I am, how things are evolving, I'm in a different space now, they had a child. But then I see it pop all over the internet, and everybody is sending inside of my inbox, and they saying, yo, it's irreconcilable differences, and they've been estranged for an extended period of time. And so you always have to ask yourself, what leads to divorce? In Jeezy's case, for example, it seemed as though he was trying to change his lifestyle, but that they just different and they're unequally yoked. And in addition to that, you also have to start digging back into, which is what a lot of people are starting to do right now, the fact that she has been married before and divorced before, obviously, in order to get with Jeezy. And so this is going to be her second time getting divorced. And so now she's going to fall into the same category as everybody else as far as being a modern woman. So first things first with regard to that is that I just don't like the idea that as a public figure, you also have to live your lifestyle publicly. But part of that is they have made that a public thing. And then I also don't like the fact that all divorce filings has to be made public. And that's the thing that people then start to make available to the general public in order to have conversations about. The more visibility that you get, the more scrutiny and criticism you're going to get, especially if you were leveraging your relationship in order to make more bags or create a different narrative or create more visibility for yourself in one way. Now, another person that's getting divorced. Now, that divorce is only happening after 2 years. Another person that's getting divorced, which is completely flying under the radar in popular culture, but, I caught wind of it because you guys sent it to me in an email, is Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman, a.k.a. Wolverine, is getting divorced after 30 years. 30 years. Now, I'm 19 years into my relationship. And so if it wasn't for my foundation as far as my father being married for 30 plus years before his untimely demise, and my brothers being married, none of them divorced, and my uncles, and it just being a lifestyle in my family and what I think that being successfully married looks like, I would feel like there's no hope. And I understand how the general public starts to see things and they saying, man, it's wild out here. Everybody getting divorced, relationships got to change, so on and so forth. But I think that there's a silver lining in this particular situation, right? Unlike Jeezy, they don't have small kids that they then have to, figure out how they can co-parent. I think that once you get past an age to where your kids are grown or they're out the house and they can live their own life, I think that you've now done your duty and responsibility as a husband or a wife, and whatever it is that look like. Now, you might be past the wall, you may not find love again, you may not even want to get married again. Who knows? Whatever your lifestyle is. But I think that once you've raised small kids, and I don't know if they have kids or how many kids that they have, but once you raise small kids and they're no longer subjected to whatever it is that y'all doing as a couple, then I think that it's okay for you to do whatever it is that you want to do. That's the silver lining in it. The other side of it is, man, what have you been dealing with for the past 30 years to where you cannot continue to see yourself with this person for the rest of your life? Because 30 years is a long time. For men, Hugh Jackman, he's still winning, right? For her, and I've seen the pictures between them, she's aged, and I'm not sure how she's going to find another man, even remotely in the same category as Hugh Jackman. And you just got to be really, really broken to want to be divorced after 30 years, or you've had to been enduring through something for a very long time, you know, in order to call yourself divorced in a situation that does not work for you anymore. And a lot of times those people wind up calling it off and they wind up sticking together. But in a general sense, those people get divorced. Now, another person that's getting divorced, I believe, is Bill Belichick. And what I read is that Bill Belichick is so immersed in and so obsessed with his career in football that he in no way, shape, or form is ever going to put anybody first before it, including a woman or a wife. Now, I'm not sure how long that they've been together, but my point is that for men, and I actually agree with this with Bill Belichick, but the question that I have to start asking myself is, how many men start putting relationships or situationships above what it is that they're supposed to be doing from a purpose perspective? The one thing about her, though, is that I heard that she get the house that they bought together in Jupiter, Florida. Now, what do you mean a house that we bought together? She works for the Bill Belichick Foundation, which is going to make things a little bit more dicey. And so that's really weird. But in a general sense, what do you mean the house that they bought together? So he's going to let her keep the house. He's at an age to where he probably don't even really care like that. So it's really not about the money. I think that he really just loves what it is that he do. Shout out to the sun for giving me life. Go ahead and put that down a little bit so I can see while I'm driving. But yeah, man, it just seems like, and it's actually some more people that I could quote inside of this conversation with y'all on this video, but then I'm choosing not to just for the sake of time. I think that I'm making my point. My point is that should we be evaluating alternatives to what we've traditionally called marriage? And here's another question, right? Because I think that Candace Owens made a really, really good point on the Whatever podcast. She said, what people are doing is keeping up a farce of a marriage, and they don't even understand what marriage is, which is one of the reasons why they find themselves in a space to where they're doing it just because it's on paper or because this is what they've been taught throughout society, and not necessarily because they understand the value of marriage and it be tied to your religious purposes or your religious beliefs, right? If you don't believe in a way that Christians believe or Muslims believe or whatever like that, why are you then aligning yourself with this tradition that's not necessarily for you? And why are you aligning yourself with these values that doesn't necessarily align with where it is that you're going in your lifestyle? So I think that it's an interesting conversation. I actually posed it as a topic, and it's going to be on Fight Club tonight. So make sure that y'all tap into Fight Club. The link, I believe, is in the description. Also, make sure you tap into the Patreon. I'm doing a meetup in DC. The next meetup is in DC, early November 4th specifically. I need to get a head check to understand exactly who's going to be there. So make sure you respond to what it is that I just posted inside of the Patreon. I also got a video that I'm dropping in the Patreon that'll help you level up financially. That's coming this weekend, and we've been editing that and making sure that that's good. And then get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of these divorces, and if you think that we need to rethink what marriage looks like in America, considering that it seems as though nobody can maintain a relationship. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm out.